Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video we are looking at EVGO. It is time for another update, and today we have quite an exciting moment because we are going to track a very nice setup in this area, since we managed to follow through the expectations from the previous video where we were looking for an internal 5-wave move to the upside. We had formed at that point already the wave A and the wave B. A wave B reset would have still been possible, but we had the relevant areas of support for continuation higher, and we were looking to form an additional high in a wave C, which we followed through perfectly because within this wave C we got just above the 100% extension of the wave A, and now we have completed our 5-wave structure internally, and we have already started our larger correction, which allows us to track a potential double 1-2-1-2 setup before we continue in our large third wave to the upside. Now, before we get here to the shorter time frame, I want to go quickly through the larger one for any of you who might be new. And here we are still very much aware of this general downtrend that has been going on this chart, and we are aware of the risk of forming this into something like an ABC pattern to the upside, even if we manage to break out and form a new local top in this area. But from this bottom from April 2024, we can also track this movement to the upside as an initial wave 1, and not only that, we can track it in a 5-wave pattern as well. And then that would be actually the first level of confirmation. That is what we are always looking for potential trade setups, yeah, the 5-wave move, where we are looking afterwards for a correction within the area of support, which we can draw as soon as we have the wave 1 complete. And if we were to use the Elliott wave theory to track such an area of support, we would have actually managed to get quite a perfect entry here at a 78.6% retracement in this correction in a three-wave pattern in wave 2, and then we got still continuation higher. Now we didn't manage to form yet the third wave up that is yet to come, but we managed to get quite considerable upside from this correction bottom in the wave 2, and this would be our second level of confirmation, the wave 2. Well, what is the next level? You may think, okay, it's the third wave, but no, it is an internal 5-wave structure to the upside, which may be used as an internal 1-2, and that is because the most interesting wave to actually be a part of is the wave 3 itself. Well, yeah, but we have already bottomed here in wave 2, and we already pushed higher, but we have pushed higher within a wave 1 up, and now we have a correction in a possible wave 2. Well, this may be another opportunity, probably even better, because you have an additional level of confirmation, not just the wave 1 up. We also have a wave 2 correction, and we have an additional wave 1 up. We have 3 levels of confirmation done, and now we are looking to find the fourth and find a correction that would bottom in an area of support here, which we have between the $3.7 all the way down to the $2.6 level. Now we have this area of support in green because there is a couple of ways this pattern could play out, and we do have intentionally left here this area of resistance in orange because technically there is still a lot of pressure for us to continue to lower prices, and we need to be very much aware that we have the 78.6% retracement resistance still ahead of us, which does also have some structural area of resistance as well. Now, if we end up pushing into it, and yeah, we do get additional upside, we do have even quite a lot of potential for quite decent gains, 100% from even these levels, but at that point there may be a risk that this structure is going to fail. Well, that is something we want to account for, but this doesn't prevent us from tracking also the opportunity of looking for a wave 3 to the upside. And if you have been following our channel, you would know that the wave 3 is the most interesting wave to be a part of. It is generally the strongest and the most impulsive wave to actually track, and to most of the times it is the longest, strongest, and most impulsive. Not always, but generally. And not only is this a wave 3, but it is a wave 3 of an even larger wave 3, which would allow it to have quite significant extensions, because generally the wave 3 we would expect to get to the 100% extension of the wave 1. That is the ideal target. But if we are looking from here, the 1-2 setup on the larger time frame, well, that would be around the $23 level. If we are looking from this possible 1-2 setup, now this would assume that we have bottomed here in the wave 2, which is not necessarily the case. It would be at the $10.7 level. Yeah, we wouldn't need to get that far to complete this wave 3 to have it as a valid wave 3. But since it is a wave 3 of a wave 3, we could see quite wild extensions and quite a parabolic movement while completing this pattern. And it is not uncommon that within this movement to the upside, we won't see many retracements and not too deep ones. Yeah, quite shallow. We may see something like 1-2 and then continuation to the upside in a very, very sharp movement. It is common, and yeah, nothing we shouldn't expect within a wave 3. Now, within this area of support, whether it is a 1-2, yeah, or an AB, we are looking for an extremely similar pattern, and it oftentimes is quite difficult to determine a difference between what we would be tracking to the upside until we actually form a top. Yeah, we are looking, after all, within the wave 3 to the upside for a 5-wave move, but also within this wave C, we are looking for a 5-wave move. Now, if we get here something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we may consider this a 1, which we may be looking here for an additional 1-2, but in the end it could prove to be an ABC and it could prove to be a breakdown afterwards. But that is not where we are. We are in this area of support, which I find extremely interesting, and I'm not telling you to enter or what to do. It is your choice. It is just the area that I'm presenting you as I see it, with high probabilities for a reversal to the upside. And if it happens to fail, well, yeah, we would know fairly early. We break below the 78.6% retracement, already the probabilities would decrease significantly that this pattern is going to fail. Yeah, either of them. And if we break below the beginning of this wave 1, well, that would be invalidation. We didn't enter at the top, we entered within the pullback, and already we are below the 50% retracement, and it is not a bad area to look for a position, in my opinion. Now, your choice what you do. Then what I would be looking for, however, in this correction is a 3-wave pattern to the downside, and it is unfortunate, but at this point it is quite choppy, and I could count it in 100 different ways and it would all still work out. In general, if I am to look here at the RSI, I would prefer still probably an additional low. I do start to see some divergences here on the hourly, and in that case we may be here in something like an ABC. Yeah, something like this could work out to the downside, but don't get too caught up in the internals here. It is in a very small time frame, and overall, if we zoom out, we are in the area of support, and if we employ a strategy where we enter and increase our positions the lower we go, well, below the 78.6% retracement is already where a point where the probabilities start to shift. Yeah, let's say the $2.5 level. The probabilities do start to shift for this not to work out, but the lower we are, the lower the risk, because yeah, from this point, sure, to the $2.5 level, it may be 25% down, but from the 78.6% retracement or so, it is only 6% down. So we can increase our positions as we go lower and even risk less money while actually getting a greater opportunity for a reward here in the reversal to the upside. Now, I'm not telling you if we go to the $2.5 level, it will break, it will be invalidated. The invalidation point is still the $2.2 level in the case of this stock. And for now, these are the levels. This is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe and let me know what else you want me to cover, and I'll do my best to do that in the days and weeks ahead. And until then, I hope you have a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.